Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Get Off the Damn Fence. That's right, we're back for another week talking all the latest in sports entertainment. And we are happy to be here tonight. And we thank you for joining us. I'm joined as I am each and every week by our co-host Calvin Thomas, Justin B.A. the Barber. I got a new pair of glasses, Harris. How y'all gentlemen doing tonight? What's happening? What's happening? Can't see you over that big old mic.
Exactly.
You seeing X-ray vision now, though, right?
Hey man, I gotta see y'all bullshit clear.
Anyway, we thank you all for tuning in tonight. You know, there's some new looks going on tonight. You got Calvin with his little turban, like little. I don't think that's a hoodie. That's like one of them little hoods the Muslim women be wearing. And then you got
Hajib.
Yeah. oh, it's Oreos. Okay. All right. That now it makes a little bit more sense. Anyway, yeah, y'all need to go make me a fashion statement. What's happening around here? But we appreciate you all tuning in tonight. We got a lot to cover, so we ain't got much time to waste. Let's get right into these NFL previews. But tune in later on. We're gonna be talking some NBA. We'll give you a little mid-season baseball update, talking about that MLB draft that took place, see what the Orioles did. So we're going to have our experts talk about that. And then we're going to get into some pro wrestling to close out the show. But let's start with the NFL because a lot is going on. I want to touch on that NFL 100 that's dropped over the last few days. Whew, interesting stuff. We have very interesting stuff. But let's talk about our season preview and what we've been doing. If you haven't been watching each and every week, we've been going through the teams from last season that's finished the worst. We're going from worst to best in order and giving you a preview heading into the new season, what they did in the off season, what moves they made, and our outlook on where those teams will come out coming into this season. And we're going to start this week with the Carolina Panthers and Justin Harris. Justin, tell us about what's going on with the Panthers.
Carolina Panthers, one of the worst teams in said division in the NFC South, but interesting season they had last year. Started with the head coach Dave Canales. I am very familiar with. He used to be our offensive coordinator. Then he took the job at Carolina. Then we got a new offensive coordinator. Then he took the job at Jacksonville. Looks like we can't keep an offensive coordinator. But besides that, what the main thing he did before I really get into the slides is the fact that he had the trust, I guess I can say, the trust within the organization, within the quarterback to bench Bryce Young, who started the season god awful. It was so awful. People, myself included, was just picking up teams on fantasy. Whoever he was playing against, whatever defense he was playing against, I was just gonna pick the other person. And that's how bad it got for Bryce Young. So he sat him down. Andy Dalton, the vet, the professional that he is, came in, just kind of just tread water a little bit. And through the head coach, through Bryce Young's efforts, he put him back in, and he turned it deep. He went back into a real quarterback, and he was very, very successful. I mean, it didn't show up in a whole bunch of wins, but if you would have saw his play, it was legitimately night and day. So I wanted to give that special shout out to Bryce Young for some guys don't make it back. Some guys, once they get benched, that is their career. And people were saying you're messing with his confidence and all those things. No, he knew what he had in his quarterback, and this is what happened. So shout out to that. But yes, that is their starting quarterback, and he is firmly in that role this upcoming season. Biggest off-season loss. I put Miles said they didn't really lose too much. I ain't gonna lie to you. I put Jonathan Mingo. That was just funny. That was just shout out to the Cowboys.
The worst trade
for doing that
in history of the NFL.
And they pretty much cut or released Jadeveon Clowney. They didn't necessarily want him there. So you can take that how you want it. We know that he's a journeyman. He can't stay nowhere for more than 1 or 2 years. Then he got to go. Biggest all season addition. Well, they really doubled down on offense. They're really low key. It's not as famous as, let's say, Chicago and how they treated Caleb Williams, but they really stayed and they really draft mostly offensive guys, led by I'm not going to pronounce his first name because everyone call him Tet or T Mac, Tet McMillan. That's what he is. Those that don't know, he is a rookie version of Mike Evans. I think that's a good comparison. That's a good comp for him. Now, will he be as good as Mike? That's a whole different situation. But if you know how Mike plays, he's a high point guy. Has a great radius for catch. Not necessarily burners, but he'll get you those tough touchdowns. Hopefully, if they get close enough. They picked up Rico Dow to pair him up with Chuba Hubbard. Once again, another sensation that kind of came out of nowhere, and he solidified the Carolina's running back. And so, nice 1-2 punch because Rico was a 1,000-yard rusher. We're not going to take that away from him in Dallas. And to replace Clowney, they picked up Nick Scorchin. Not the best, but decent enough. He had a great collegiate career, and we see if he can translate into to the pros. So what can they do to get better? This is what we're looking for. Xavier Legette. Now he is more famous probably for the food that he eats because he is a Southern boy and the raccoons and stuff. Whatever. If you ever hear Shannon Shaw talk about eating some wild stuff, Xavier Legette eats the same thing. Crazy stuff. But he got a lot of drops last year. To the point where as though that's probably the number one thing that he needs to work on. Is holding on to the ball. And also, can Chuba Hubbard and Bryce Young continue to get better? I don't know if this is Max Chuba. He might have another gear left in him. And Bryce continue to extend and be a crack into the top 10 quarterbacks. It's there for him to do. He has to do it. The offensive line is legit. The offensive line is very solid. It's just Bryce Young was very intimidated, very gun shy, all those other things you want to say. It's no doubt the fact that when Andy came in, they started to do much better. It's the same offensive line, right? And then when he came back, they got even better. Same offensive line. So it wasn't offensive line. It was more so Bryce having to curb whatever that was ailing him. I know he had some off the field issue. We're not going to talk about his love life, but that was probably a factor. So with that being said, the most important thing, the number one question mark is the defense. The defense needs to get better. They were trash. They put Bryce into a situations where he just wasn't ready to deal with. And it was constantly throughout the whole season. Even once Bryce hit the corner, they was still averaging a high amount when it comes to yards and points. So they need to do better, and hopefully they do. Who knows? But that's the number one thing. The last question is the number one question. Can the defense, they didn't necessarily change a lot of things. They didn't bring in a lot of pieces. They are doubling down on offense in order for the offense to take the next step in being a prolific offense and worry about the defense next year.
Okay, hell of a breakdown. Calvin, your thoughts?
I think this season heavily relies on Bryce Young and his continued improvement as a quarterback. He was benched going into year 2. He should be a no doubt starter throughout year 3 as long as he's healthy. But can he take that next step in leading this offense with a rookie receiver? With a decent running game as well. He'll have to take the lead with this offense. I'm not expecting much from his defense, but offensively they should take a step in the right direction. They should be a threat in most games to score points to try to cover for this defense. So it's on Bryce Young to continue to build off what happened last year and not regress to year 1. And this is also a contract year because he can get an extension after this year as well. So if he's going to truly be that franchise quarterback, I think this pressure is solely on Bryce Young. And then from there, you can continue to build on defense. Next draft, you can get more weapons. But if you have your quarterback, then you have a big piece of the puzzle when you try to win football games.
Yeah, I think the best friend to this young quarterback will be that running game. And they went out and tried to add to that running game. Rico Dowd, who's former Cowboy. Chuba did play well last year. He was very good. All things considered, he wasn't really a feature back the year before. but he's made himself a featured back, and I think that's a good sign for him coming out. He was great in college, and then he had a slow start to his career. I thought last year he really separated himself, and if he can take that next step, that will really help the young quarterback. And we'll continue to watch Bryce Young. I don't want to put too much more on him. Like you said earlier, Justin, it's a good point that many times these young quarterbacks don't bounce back the way he did, and he was able to bounce back. That shows me his moxie, it shows me his work ethic, and it showed that he has a little bit more intestinal fortitude. Because look, we've seen so many young quarterbacks who were good in college come in with these high hopes, and then they fall on their face and they never get back up. So again, we'll continue to monitor it. I don't think the defense will do them any favors, but offensively, we'll see if they're able to put something together. They did pay a lot of money for some of those defensive pieces, so I would hope that they will start to come together, especially that corner they paid all that money to. So we'll continue to watch that. Any final thoughts before we get into the Mount Rushmore, Justin?
With all that being said, I hope they don't win a game this season.
All right, give us your Mount Rushmore every week. The teams that we're doing a preview of, we talk about who would be considered the 4 best players in the history of that franchise. So let's talk about the Carolina Panthers, who were an expansion team in the 90s. Talk to us.
Well, because they was a expansion team in the 90s, it makes it a little bit easier because they really didn't have too many great seasons. So you can just easily go to the few seasons that they had when it was actually pretty darn good. And I think these 4 are unanimous. So I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. But number 1, Cam Newton, obviously. 2, Steve Smith, obviously. 3, Julius Peppers. I think that's pretty another obvious one. And 4, Luke Kuechly.
That's the list.
That's pretty much
solid, man. I mean, that's the list. I mean, ain't much to say about that.
I don't say you can have anyone else. So
yeah, I mean, that's the list. Shut it down.
Sometimes it's easier.
That wasn't difficult at all. So
that's the list. Didn't need a slide for that. Calvin, tell us about the San Francisco 49ers.
Man, this 49ers team has gone through some injuries, and now they've gone to a semi-rebuild. They did pay Brock Purdy this year. I wasn't for that. They gave him, I believe, the most a 5-year contract with about $250 guaranteed. It's a lot for a quarterback who's only had a lot of weapons and hasn't really led an offense by himself, in my opinion. The biggest offseason loss is Drake Greenlaw. You can also go Tre'Davious Ward. You can also go Deebo Samuel. We saw what he's looked like so far in Washington. I think Drake Greenlaw has just been that guy in the middle along with Fred Warner. And we saw the impact that he made once he went out in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, how the defense kind of just lost a big piece of their interior defense at that point. When he tore his Achilles, he never really got back on the field healthy. He was splitting time last year with I'm forgetting the linebacker's name from Denver as well, and now he's actually moved on to a new team. They also lost, like I said, Tre'Davious Ward. They also lost Deebo Samuel. They've lost pieces on offense and the defense. They also, for a brief minute, lost Kyle Juszczyk, who was cut and then decided to re-sign with the 49ers, thinking that was the best fit for his offense and the best fit for Brock Purdy, which I do agree with. And they also signed Bryce Huff to play opposite of Bosa on that defensive line from the Philadelphia Eagles, who just won a Super Bowl title. Looking at this 49ers team, their over-under coming into the year was like 9.5, and I jumped on the under. And I think the only thing that helps them out is just that weak schedule. They play the AFC South and the NFC South, so they can really kind of get a number of wins against those two divisions. In the division, they still have the Rams to deal with. They still have Seattle, who has a new quarterback. And now you have Arizona as well, who has Kyler Murray and also has a dangerous weapon in Marvin Harrison. So is this team ready to take the next step and get back to the Super Bowl, or is it time for them to rebuild? They're kind of in the middle. They paid a ton of guys a lot of money previously. They started to get off some of those contracts. However, they still have a Trent Williams. It's a Christian McCaffrey, who we don't even know is he truly healthy after he had this calf Achilles tendonitis. That doesn't just go away. There's no cure for that. So is he prepared to deal with that for a whole 17 games? Can he carry that offense with Brock Purdy, or does Brock Purdy have to step up? I don't think we saw anything from Brock Purdy last year where he was the main focus on offense and his offense really was able to do anything significant. he's always had a number of weapons. He had Ayuk, who's coming off an ACL injury. He had Debo, who's gone. They still have Kittle, but he's older. They still have Trent Williams, but he's older. And now and also they still have McCaffrey, but he's coming off an injury. So what can you expect from this 49ers team? Is it rebuild time, or do they just have enough left, especially especially at the coaching position? Do they have enough to lead this team in the offense? I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm not sure if Brock Purdy can do that with just him relying on the offense and relying on him to carry his offense. We will see. I think this is time for rebuild, but I'm not sure what to expect from this 49ers team. The answer is right now, like I said, I'm taking under on their 9.5 win total as it came to the year. But this easier schedule may fool some teams early on because they, like I said, they play the AFC South and the NFC South. So what do you think about this 49ers team is the question. Do you believe in Brock Purdy? Do you believe that he's able to carry his offense? Or do you think it's time that he'll get exposed and it's time for them to finally rebuild in San Francisco?
Justin, I'll let you go.
Well, once again, I think this is seemingly every year they run into someone that needs their money, and then they're going to probably stall it until the right before training camp. In this situation, is Jauan Jennings.
That just happened recently, though, like 2 days ago.
Right, but it's here, right? So they got to deal with it.
Blind demand.
He only making like $7 million. So when it comes to NFL receivers, he thinks that he's probably the second best receiver on his team, which he probably is. He's the best run blocking wide receiver they have, and that you could ask Christian McCaffrey how important he is. So I think that's something that they need to address now, because I mean, how good is Ricky Pearsall? We're going to find out. We're going to find out how good Brock should be graded. You know, he should be a force multiplier. Well, we're going to see this season. I think the talent level took a drop collectively, but he still has his mountain in the left tackle, so he's still good on that front. Christian should be healthy, so he has one of the best weapons as a running back, Swiss Army knife kind of a guy. So it's just going to be on Brock. I don't know about the defense. I think the defense is now a little bit shaky. It's always a year older than what it was. This team does not. I don't think they have Super Bowl admirations right now. I think aspirations. I think they have. Can we get into the playoffs and then let's see what shakes? That's not the San Francisco 49ers that I know. So they definitely probably taking a few steps back, and hopefully, I think for them, they just trying to get in the playoffs and then see what they can do once they get in.
I agree. I just think so many of their moves were salary cap related, and when you lose certain players like a Debo, who's, again, I know he made some blunders here and there where people say he dropped the ball, made some key drop mistakes, but he was heart and soul in a lot of ways that team. You lose a Javius Ward, who was a stalwart for that defense, someone you could count on. And I get it. You can't pay everybody all the time. But the Drake Greenlaw, big time player for that team. And again, we say this every year with this 49ers team, and it's health. And I'm going to bring that up when I talk about the Dolphins in a minute. These teams, the health of these teams dictate where their outcome will be, so much so that it makes you wonder, is it coaching? Is it what? You know, the depth is not always there. I just don't get it. Again, you count on Jennings, you're not going to pay him no big time money at the overpaid a wide receiver in Ayuk, and you let Debo walk out the door. Come on, man, get out of here. And you've had salary cap casualties all off season, and you're going to pay Jennings of all people? No. But again, I agree with the whole Brock Purdy thing. But again, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? If you don't have great weapons, of course, most quarterbacks are going to look pretty pedestrian. So I don't think that's necessarily fair. Or if your offense is predicated on a strong running game and your lead back is out and they bring in a backup and he's able to hold off the and play well. What was the backup's name who came in there last year?
Jordan Mason.
He played well for a stretch, but he as the season went on, teams figured him out. He's not the dynamic player that of course Christian McCaffrey is. So you're not going to get that same production. So that makes complete sense. Backups are backups for a reason, but I just think the problem is the NFC is just stacked, And I think the talent level in that NFC West, we're going to talk about what the Rams are going to do. We're going to talk about the changes. We already talked about the Seahawks. We talk about what other teams have done to improve their teams, and we think the 49ers have had too many subtractions, in my opinion, and that's why they'll take a step back. They'll be third, battling for second in the division because they're competitive. They still got some playmakers. If they're healthy, they can compete, but they just won't be that old 49ers team that will perennial Super Bowl contenders year in, year out, not in my opinion. All right. So, Calvin, tell us. The 49ers is a storied franchise. Many titles on their docket. I grew up a 49ers fan. My father was a Cowboys fan. I was a 49ers fan. I love me some Jerry Rice. I love me some Joe Montana, Steve Young. That was Steve Young, that 1994 team when Dion was there. Man, that was my time. That was my time. But go ahead. What's your thoughts?
I think we're gonna have at least half of the same. Jerry Rice, Joe Montana.
3 of the same.
Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, no doubt. I think everyone's gonna have them on the list.
Mm-hmm.
That third one didn't kind of. What you saying?
You should already have a guaranteed third on there too.
Yeah, what you saying?
The fourth should be guaranteed.
Ronnie Lott is on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
I'm getting him the defender. I wanted to go Dion, but I'm gonna save Dion for Dallas. And
Dion
my fourth
was there
one,
for like 1 year.
Yeah, it don't matter. He brought him a Super Bowl. He brought him a Super Bowl in 1 year.
That's
don't
true,
matter.
But he was only at 1 year.
And my fourth is gonna be Patrick Willis. I'm going defense.
Wow.
I'm going defense.
My four is different. I
got two different ones, but I'm gonna respect.
I'm going Joe, Steve, Jerry, and T.O. That's my four.
Okay, I think everybody different. I can't believe you ain't stayed Steve Young, bro. That's crazy. It's Steve Young, Joe Montana, Jerry, and I put Ronnie Lott for my fourth one. I understand T.O. I understand. It's funny. T.O. is one of those guys. Like I don't know where he goes.
He doesn't have a home, in my opinion.
That's why, to me, if I'm going to pick a home, I'm not going to pick Philly. I'm not going to pick Dallas. If you had to pick a team that defined T.O., it was San Francisco. It was.
But I don't even know if he had his best years in San Francisco.
He didn't, but he had his most consistent stint early in his career.
He had his longest stint. That's why I was consistent, because it was his long. But
he made Pro Bowls. He made Pro Bowls and all that stuff. So it wasn't like he was a slouch.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm thinking. I think Philly was more impactful.
But he was only a year.
It was a year and a half or whatever.
I'm not giving him Mount Rushmore, the Eagles, for 1 year.
It's crazy because after San Francisco, he basically played 2, 3. I think he played Dallas 3 years.
Cincinnati,
Buffalo.
Yeah.
I think it was Buffalo, Cincinnati, actually.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he's a 49er. But I hate Ronnie Lott 100%. I'm not arguing Ronnie
Man, cut
Lott.
up his finger, man.
Yeah, I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
So I could go. If I had to compromise and we had to put together one list as a unit, there's no way in the world Steve Young not on the list for greatest 49ers of all time.
Stop it. You said for Patrick Willis?
Stop it.
Joe Montana is arguably best quarterback ever. Like Steve Young did a lot with Joe Montana's weapons.
Steve Young would be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time if he ain't followed Joe Montana.
Exactly. And mobile.
He was ready
number one.
4 years ago.
So on your Mount Rushmore is the number 2 quarterback in their history. So you're saying that they're not number 1 player. All right.
And I'm about to on my list. It'll be the same thing. Here we go. Let's move on.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we'll talk. The Miami Dolphins.
Put 2 away your ball in. Go ahead. Let me let you go.
The Miami Dolphins are one of those teams that I've been behind for multiple years now, and I even picked them to go to the Super Bowl last year. Injuries derailed this team greatly. It's well documented. The injury history of quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. I thought last year was a down year, not just for him, but the wide receiver core was injured. The running backs were injured, which was a strength for them 2 years ago, where they had 3 running backs. Achan was like the breakout star where he just was like a swift army knife, but he couldn't stay healthy last year, which really hurt the team. And they just had a litany of weapons they were able to throw at you. But last year, this team was not able to do the same things because of injuries. So the story for this year will be, can this team put a solid, healthy team on the field? They traded away Jalen Ramsey, got Minkah Fitzpatrick back in return, who's coming back to Miami. We'll see if he's able to help solidify that defense. Bradley Chubb should be back healthy this year. You got some other players that you lost key players. Don't get me wrong. I will not act like they were unscathed in the offseason in the secondary. But by bringing Minkah back, I think that is an upgrade. I think he'll cover for some of the deficiencies that they have at the cornerback position. But at the end of the day, you got to put points on the board. And teams thought they figured out some of that quick passing that the Tua was able to do. His arm strength isn't there 100% of the time, so they shorten the field. But you still have to respect Tyreek Hill. You still had to respect the lightning fast ability that offensive core is able to score the football with when they're on. So I think they're going to be motivated. I think they're going to be ready. I think if healthy for the majority of the year, this team will be a contender in that AFC East. I think they'll be battling for the top spot. I'm not a believer in the Jets. I'm not a believer in, look, Buffalo's Buffalo. We all know that. But New England has a long way to go. I think Miami will be back. I have faith in them. It's all about injury. And Coach Mike McDaniel's on the clock. This is his year. If he doesn't get it done this year, I could see them pulling the trigger. We know about some of the issues with the collusion and some of the issues with the prior coach. And this ownership group is really got their finger on the trigger now. And they will pull the trigger if need be. And there will be some changes in Miami if they don't have a successful season in 2025. I got the Dolphins finishing second, challenging for first in the AFC East. I think they'll get better this year. Calvin, your thoughts?
This is all on Tua staying healthy, which I think we talk about every year. They have the talent offensively. I think they took a step back on defense, even getting back Minkah, who's had Pro Bowl seasons, but he's also had a down season last year. So you're getting him off probably his worst season since his rookie year.
Yeah, let's chill out on that. Patrick Queen was in front of him. Go ahead.
Chad throw him under the bus, I guess. But like I said, this all comes down to Tua being healthy. If Tua's healthy, this offense can roll. It's just going to matter. Can the defense step up? Will Bradley Chubb be back? I forgot he even got injured late 2 years ago because he didn't play all last season. Will he be back? He's on a big contract. Can Minkah Fitzpatrick kind of hold down this back end of that secondary? Like I said, if Tua's healthy, this team should be second. But Tua always seems to go off a couple weeks and then this team struggles. And I really like New England in this division. I think they're going to make a little bit more noise with a different coaching staff, with another year, Drake May. I'm starting to think Tua is just going to be one of those injured quarterbacks. Like, I think it's possible that's what he is. If he's healthy, he has the potential to be great, but he just can't stay healthy. And even when he does stay healthy, they fall off towards the end of the year as they did a couple years ago. I don't know why the story's any different this year.
I think it'll be different because they went out and got the man a little bit of extra help in the middle. Let's see what Darren Waller's able to do. The best friend to a quarterback like a Tua is a good tight end.
Retired rapping tight end.
Hey, if the guy's healthy, he can play well in the middle of the field.
So he came back to football.
Hey, the man might be back on his game again. If you get Darren Waller out in Vegas, he'll be all right, huh?
I say he's still 6'6", so that's good.
And that's what I mean. All you need is a safety blanket. The problem was they was keeping Tua on an island. He was getting checked. He ain't had no check down guy, but
so you said Tua on an island. Was that a little because he an island, because he an island boy? Because
I didn't try that.
Did you put that? Okay, understood.
But worst loss is Javon Holland. You know what I mean? Again, they're gonna have some work to do to cover up some of these deficiencies. So you get Minkah back to try to help with that. You know what I mean? Christian Wilkins, again, defensive line. Bradley Chubb coming back. So again, I think some of these issues can be addressed just by health, period. Go ahead, Justin.
I think the most important thing, and both of you guys are like saying it, but not necessarily giving the reason or the person. Tua will get hurt. It's not an if. It's a will. It's a win. But the severity is different, right? We don't know the severity of it, and we're just hoping, just for that man's sake, it's not a concussion. It's not above the shoulders. If you're gonna get hurt, let it be below the shoulders.
He had a
But
lower leg injury last year. It wasn't even a concussion issue.
that's what I'm saying. So it's a matter of when. So I was like, well, who's their backup? That's the most important thing for me for this team. Once they realized that their backup was trash last year, they punted on the season. It was a wrap. Now they picked up Zach Wilson. Now is he trash? Possibly.
Yeah.
But is he one of those guys that could have been just at a wrong place? He was playing for the Jets. We're not going to forget that, right? And the Jets don't have the greatest track record of developing quarterbacks. So if you're saying that you have Mike McDonald and Mike McDaniel, and he has this 25-year-old who can still throw it, he got a great arm. That is something that, all right, you get your reps. All right, Zach, I'll stay after with you. I don't know what he's necessarily, if he's doing none of that stuff, but I'm quite sure they're putting more emphasis on him getting his reps because they never know how long they got with Tua. So if you can bring in Zach, and Zach can be marginally okay. Well, shit, actually, he was probably the best quarterback that they had for the last couple of years when it comes to the Jets, and that was with Aaron Rodgers there. So ask Garrett Wilson how you feel about Zach Wilson. So it is something there. So hopefully he's grooming him to being a better guy. So once Tua goes down, they don't necessarily just say up. That's the whole season for us.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. They had Snoop last year as a backup. He came in there and he tried to do a couple of things here and there. It just didn't work out. He just didn't have the arm strength to be able to make those throws.
Pro Bowler as well.
Tyreek Hill running 100 miles per hour down the field, and the ball can't get to him. That's the problem. So Tua's connection with him is great, but we'll see. We'll see. And Tyreek's happiness will also be a determination of this. Will they be able to keep him happy? 2 years ago, the man was talking about catching for 2,000 yards. I think people forget that. Like, this offense was fantastic. Just a year, not last season, but the season prior. Tyreek was in line to be MVP, was like trying to be offensive MVP and all this other stuff. So they not that far off.
He was trying to get regular MVP. Like, he had a shot. That's 2,000 yards was well in reach.
So if they can be healthy,
he had a shot until week 15 or whatever it was.
All right, that's the majority.
When they came to Baltimore, that was a wrap.
It is what it is. But as far as Mount Rushmore of the Miami Dolphins, I think this is here where our list might be a little different. But for me, number one on the list has to be Dan Marino. While he never won a title for the Dolphins, I think unarguably one of the greatest passers and more fun players to watch of that era. So he has to be number one. Bob Greasy has to go on that list. He was the quarterback of that undefeated team, the only undefeated teams in 1972, and they went to 2 other Super Bowls. So again, 3 consecutive Super Bowl appearances, 2 wins. He was the man, but give Bob Greasy his flowers on Mount Rushmore. Larry Zonka got to go up there as well. Larry Zonka, one of the greatest running backs in the history of the game, especially in the 70s, 60s. He was that guy. He was the leader of that team, many would say, and he was the face. And then I go Jason Taylor. Jason Taylor, for a lot of the 90s, when Dano was gone, the 2000s, when they was against, they ain't had nobody. They didn't have anybody. You had Zach Taylor and Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor. That was the team. You know what I mean? Like, you had Patrick Surtain, and I want to say who else they had?
Sam
Madison. Yeah, they were a defensive-led team. And I give Jason Taylor his credit.
Yeah, you want to throw some respect on Jay Fielder. Okay.
He had one good Monday Night Football game. But
that's what you name 5 people?
Nah,
who you for?
No,
who you for?
I named
2 quarterbacks, Arizona and
Jason Taylor. Honorable mention, Mark Clayton.
Okay. Dan Marino, of course. Jason Taylor, of course. Zach Thomas, of course. How about Larry
Okay.
Zonka? I'm not a fan of giving second best quarterbacks a Mount Rushmore take when there are other
Hold up.
great
Do your
players on
four
the team.
again?
Marino,
Mm-hmm.
Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Larry Zonka.
How you gonna put Zach Thomas over Bob Greasy? A two-time Super Bowl champion, 3 times in a row, like undefeated.
You know what? I'll take that back. He did win
Undefeated.
2. He won 2. I Bob Greasy. I'll take it back. I was trying to make a case of Zach Thomas. I was trying to make a case.
Justin, any difference on your list?
No, I have everybody, including Jason Taylor. And shout out to his sister, man. I know she's going through some hard times right now. You know, she'll
Hey,
bounce back. You know,
she ain't got no ass to bounce off. But excuse my French, guys. I didn't mean that. But hey man, she talked a lot of smack. So, you know, smack. But
your boy got it back, Justin. Your boy got it back over there on Zeus TV or whatever the hell network he on.
come on, Manuel.
No.
He got cut too.
No. Why am I blanking on his name? You know, I hate him. I can't think of his name right now.
You fumbled. All right.
I forgot his name. It wasn't important, but
it's all right. Let's move on. But yeah, Manuel Acho got fired. Paul Pierce, Keyshawn Johnson, all of them got. Paul Pierce talked all that trash and they canceled his show.
LaShawn McCoy,
Manuel Acho,
fat bastard. I forgot it. I apologize. Fat bastard.
Whitlock?
As Triple B would
call
him.
He can't stand it.
No, he wanted to.
He can't stand. He talked all kinds of trash.
Terrible. He can't stand it, but he'll lay with her.
You know he will. Anyway, yeah, that's our preview for the week. Interesting stuff. Next week we'll continue with the list, and we starting to warm up. We starting to get some better teams in the next couple weeks as we get countdown to the regular season, which is vastly approaching. Training camp start on the 26th. I want to say.
Really? Yeah, recorded today.
No, I'm saying they got open practice. I think the 27th at Ravens.
I thought that. No, it's the 3rd.
So that week or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
The following.
It's the next Sunday. Yeah. Interesting. All right, and some news. Sauce Gardner got paid. Interesting stuff. Does he deserve to be the highest paid corner in the league?
What'd you say, Justin?
I say him and his partner, Garrett Wilson.
Oh, I thought you meant Brandon Stevens.
He did.
He had a down year last year.
Exactly.
But you can make the argument that's because the offense was inept, and I felt like the defense was on the field a lot more. It didn't have as good of a pass rush. They brought in Hassan Reddick, who didn't play. I'm sorry. They brought in Hassan Reddick, who didn't play. Didn't really have that pass rush.
That got to do with anything.
I'm trying to make an excuse why he had a down year.
Oh boy, now, I got 1 or 2 routes left. I can't. If he do 3 routes, I'm done.
Personally, I prefer Patrick Surtain to Sauce Gardner. So he beat out Patrick Surtain for highest paid corner. But look, the next up is always the highest paid. But I think Patrick Surtain is a better corner. But I'm not knocking anyone getting paid.
What's your thoughts as our resident Jets fan? Justin, your thoughts?
Shit, he definitely let me down last year. You know, the thing is, I think Calvin kind of wrapped it up by saying like that was the most important thing, the fact that he was next up. You don't take any steps back. You put the pressure on. He probably let them know as soon as he clarified himself as like the guy. As soon as he says like I'm the one of the best corners out here. Hey yo, you gotta pay me like it. So the Jets are in a position to give people money right now, and he took advantage of that. That's why Garrett Wilson just got paid. They don't have a quarterback. they don't have a quarterback that's breaking their pockets. So when that happens, we all know that's the time for you to cash in, with little fight, and I think that's what happened. Yes, his stats took a dive. But his agent and all them saying, well, if he was in coverage for X amount of time, if you had the league average when it came to pass rush, then he would have this, that. They'll play with numbers to make themselves look a lot better or to be apologetic for themselves. The fact of the matter is, they don't have a quarterback where they got to break the bank for. They don't have a top tier quarterback. So when you don't have that, that's when you pay the rest of your guys. We just seen it in San Francisco. Everybody was getting paid in San Francisco until Brock had to come up, and now that money is probably going to get loaded up tremendously. So you take advantage of the time when you don't have a quarterback. That's the time to get paid.
Yeah, I was playing around. Of course, he deserved it. It is what it is. Next guy up, you get paid your money. He was 2-time All-Pro. You know what I mean? This early in your career,
in the first 2 years, I think.
Rookie of the year, you're supposed to. You know what I mean? He had a down year last year, but that should have been seen by many. Again, the offense was never going to be the strength of this team, and this team was built to have a great defense. But when it's just, I'll compare it to what we saw in Dallas. Once teams figure out that, hey, this is what you like to do, we're going to exploit what you don't like to do. And I think that's what happened last year. A lot of times, it's not a situation where, they didn't throw to his side. Yes, they did. Watch the games. Yes, they did. They threw to his sides. He still got his 49 tackles, but it was none of those big, impactful plays we got used to seeing from him early in his career. We'll see is he able to bounce back. He had a hamstring issue. We know about those hamstring issues. It just because it's listed as he only missed 2 games, but he probably was dealing with it a little longer than that. We'll see if he's able to get his feet back under him, his legs back under him this season and bounce back. But having that money gives you a little bit extra security to go a little harder, knowing that you ain't on no last year your contract and none of that other stuff. So I think that would be good for him. It'll be good for him. Another guy got paid in Trey Smith for the Kansas City Chiefs. He broke the bank, man. He really broke the bank. Highest paid guard NFL history. Right before the franchise tag deadline struck, 4-year, $94 million, 70 guaranteed. Highest paid guard in NFL history. That's really going to set the new standard. So, all those guards that are coming up, they looking at that like, ho, ho, ho. We just saw, we knew that they weren't going to be able to pay everybody in Kansas City. That's why they've been shedding contracts the last couple of years. But offensive line has been a weakness for them, even though they made it to the Super Bowl. And that's crazy to say. They made it to the Super Bowl, and we saw what happened to them in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. They were absolutely bludgeoned. And then you go out and pay Trey Smith.
They paid 2 of those because they paid the center too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They paid 2 of those guys.
So the question is, was this money well spent? Should they have paid a left tackle? I mean,
they traded Thuney. They traded in Chicago.
He traded in Chicago. But he wasn't a left tackle. Remember,
he played left tackle.
He played out of position. Remember, they moved him to left tackle.
He played. Yeah, he wasn't. That wasn't that position, but he played there in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he played there out of position. He was trying to help out the team, which pissed him off. I think that behind the scenes, that was part of the reason why he wanted out, because it felt like he was getting exposed and wasn't getting paid. He's like, hey, I've been versatile. I've been trying to help this team out. Your boy, what's his name? Orlando Brown Jr. was the left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember, he was with the Chiefs 2 years ago. That's what I'm saying. They didn't properly replace him.
Cincinnati for 1 year, and then been in Kansas City 1 year, and even Cincinnati last 2.
They didn't properly replace him. So they was like, to me, you need to go spend some money on a left tackle, not on. I get it. You need a guard. I'm not undervaluing guard, but
because their right tackle is the guy that jump off sides all the time.
So both tackles is weak now. So did they address this in the? We'll talk about that when we do our season preview for the Chiefs. But what was your thoughts on this signing? Do you think this was the right move, Calvin?
It's a lot of money for a guard. It's a lot of money in the offensive line for them to play that poorly. I understand you got to protect your franchise quarterback. If you think about the last time we saw them, and you're paying these guys that played for you like this in the Super Bowl, does that really tie in? I mean, you can't replace all of them at once, but hey, this team, last we saw them, when it counted, they couldn't protect Patrick Mahomes for anything. So I'm not mad at anybody getting their money out, but you get your money out. That's another thing.
It's just a
But
weird investment, in my opinion.
it's,
But
it's
hey,
just a lot.
what's your thoughts, Justin?
I mean, he himself was decent, at least like above decent. Like he didn't necessarily allow that many sacks or anything like that. So he was
But do
definitely
you pay
The
him
whole
for that?
line
Like,
was turned. It don't
that's
feel
what
like
I'm saying. Like, don't you spread that money around? Like, maybe he's just not that guy that you need.
that dude get the money, he get the money. So we
Yeah,
just
I mean,
get
I'm not hating on him. I'm talking about from the Chiefs'
until you
perspective.
find someone else, and then maybe you restructure his contract or whatever the case may be. But
It's
they
hard.
still looking, right?
Can't
They
be
do not
guaranteed.
have a world beater when it comes to a left tackle or a right tackle. So it's the outside. The inside is okay. So he gets his money. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that. This all goes back to Patrick and the deal that he signed when he signed it. So you can pay people, you can pay guys when it's their turn. So it all comes together. So I don't necessarily have a problem with him. Now that running game, I don't think it was the best, and I think he should. Now, is he good in passing? Yes. Run game, I didn't necessarily see Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Rush breaking it up the middle for 20-yard gashes and stuff like that. So now that's what I would have pushed back on a little bit, but hey man, it's time to get paid, man.
It's
These
interesting,
brothers
man.
get paid.
It's really interesting because
70 million.
we criticizing these teams, and they made it to the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, they made it to the Super Bowl. They were good enough to get there, but we saw them get exposed on the big stage, and that could be more about the Eagles were just that good. But it's
Not
just
that
tough.
many people have an Eagles line though, too. Let's not forget.
Exactly. But again, this wasn't the first time we saw it. You know what I mean? It was like that offensive line was an Achilles heel. And every time they lose, if you go back and look at history, Tampa Bay, look at Patrick Mahomes getting destroyed. It's always come down to the offensive line. And at some point, you do have to be like, we can pay a couple guys good money, spread this thing out, or we can get beat like a drum and make sure that everybody, I don't know. It's something to look at. I'm not a Chiefs fan, but just objectively looking at it, I don't know. It's something to consider. Next up, Terry McLaurin is looking to get paid. He's very unhappy. There's some interesting comments come out this week. You know, this is right before the franchise tag deadline. So, of course, if he gets franchised or he get, he's not, I don't think he's up for a franchise. He wants an extension. They went out, traded for Deebo Samuels. Everybody thought, okay, add Deebo to the mix. Now that this team should be loaded, but Terry want to get paid. He wants to be appreciated. He want to be featured. He wants to be shown the love and the money that he's deserved because his franchise is on the rise. But he feel like he was a big reason why Jaden Daniels was as good as he was last year. And one could argue that he was. He made some big time catches. He is a big time part of his team. And you see everybody else getting paid around the league. And you feel like you should be up there with those type of players. Justin, I'll start with you this time. What's your thoughts on Terry McLaurin and his issues?
We keep this thing simple around here. When you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, that's the time when you pay your guys. Mm-hmm. Once again, why they're not paying him? I do not understand. He just saw Garrett Wilson get paid, man. Like, I'm better than him. Where my money at? I'm not knocking it. He should get his paper. I was, I'm driving around. I'm listening to, the local radio, and it's a lot of DC guys that call up for the Baltimore sports joint 105.7, and they all under the same accord. Yo, Terry is in the community. Terry is a stalwart. Terry went through the rough times of the Commanders when he went through all that nonsense and stayed focused, never complained. That's the qualities you want. Like he's exhibiting all the qualities you want as the guy, and then you don't pay him. See, that's that franchise thing, that's that GM thing, that's the owner thing, whatever it is. That's when it start to lay their ugly head. So he need his money. He deserves his money. I mean, it's been times where you be watching the Commanders. They about to throw to Terry touchdown. They got there like we seen it. You could call it sometimes by himself 1-on-1. Jaden gonna throw it to him, throw it right to him. So I don't know. It's pretty sad as a franchise. You can't go down like this. Pay the man his money.
Calvin.
I'm off people getting that money. I've said that a couple times already. The only thing that makes me hesitate is I didn't realize he's about to turn 30. And he's basically a free agent for the first time. I didn't realize he came out into the NBA in the NFL draft when he was like 22, 23. I didn't realize he was that old already. I thought he was like 27, 28. So I'm not saying he's old. I'm just saying for a receiver, I don't know if I want to tie up money and paying him until he's 34, 35, and then I also have to pay Jaden because his contract will be up or he'll be due for his extension in a couple of years as well. You already have Debo as well, who's on the other side, who's getting older as well. And we've seen pictures where he looks like he's out of shape. So this is a way to kind of turn over that wide receiver room. Can you get a free agent? Can you get a Higgins next year? Will there be a free agent? I'm not saying this is what you do, but I see the options. I weigh the options. I understand not giving Terry McLaurin 4 more years. That's all I'm saying. If I can give him 1-2 more years and load it up with a ton of money, I'm cool with that. But I don't know if I want to pay him at 34, and I'm also paying JD 5 now, and I'm tying up 30-40% of my cap because I got to pay my quarterback $50 million, and I'm paying him $25-30 million and no more receiver. I see both sides. That's all.
See, you said 2 different things. You said he's almost 30, right?
I'm saying
now
he's almost
34.
Well, no, my point is he's almost 30, so he wants a long-term deal. So I had to pay him for 3 or 4 years. I didn't realize he was this old, is what I said. I didn't realize he was a 3rd-round draft pick. So I guess he got an extension a couple of years ago, but he's hitting free agency for the first time basically at 30. He turns 30 in September. Didn't realize that. I just think you could have the potential to get more value from a younger receiver, and you can build that relationship with JD5. I'm not saying Terry McLaurin's not a great receiver. I'm just saying I don't know if I'm giving him 4 years. If he wants 2 years,
4 years.
If he wants 2 years and a ton of money, let's make that happen.
I give him 4 years.
I wasn't giving you 4.
He's number 1 receiver in this league where he already built a rapport with a young quarterback. You don't remove that. He's a franchise.
I didn't say I'm removing it. I'm just saying I don't know if I give him 4 years. That's all I'm saying. If he wants 4 years, $100 million,
with the signing bonuses that they're getting,
sign him in the 4 years.
You give him 4 years. The signing bonus is going to take the majority of it.
Correct,
then but
be like,
I'm still like the $7 million for the last 2 years.
The signing bonus still affects the salary cap, though. Correct.
That's okay. All is he not worthy of it? What other piece are you going out to get this year that's going to be more important?
This year, nothing. This year, you're not.
He wants a deal now. He don't want.
I'll give you 2 years. What's wrong with 2 years?
You give him
2 years. Is that okay? 2 years.
No, the man wants to be paid like the top receivers in this league.
Okay, so
if you giving the top receivers in the league a 2-year deal because I'm
giving him top receiver money for that 2-year period. Yes. So if Justin Jefferson makes $40 million, I'll give you 2 years 70. I'll give you that money in 2 years. I'm just not.
You might as well franchise tag him at that point. You're not even giving no security with 2 years. The man wants a long-term deal like any other top receiver.
I'm giving you the same money as him. It's just over a 2-year period. Okay, if you prove it this year, I'll give you another one next year. I'll give you an extra year next year.
The man's been proving it. The point I'm making is if he was a guy who got hurt every year or was inconsistent or didn't show up for you year in, year out, I hear you 100%. You're taking a risk. But that's not the case here. What's his comp? Who's his comp that you can say that they've done the same thing with him and you only gave him a 2-year deal? Who's his comp? Maybe you had to research that a little bit, but I'm trying to see who you talking about that's happened to. When you giving out money to Brandon Ayuk and these other guys who ain't proving
I ain't got nothing to do with Brandon Ayuk money.
I'm just saying that as a receiver, you don't just worry about what your individual team doing. You worry about what's happening around the league. And you're comparing yourself to the top people at your position around the league. And like you say, Sauce Gardner, he got the highest paid money at his position because what? He was the next guy up. And that's the
Gardner is 5-6 years younger than Terry McLaurin.
Okay, but Terry McLaurin is the next guy up at the receiving position, looking for big money.
And as I look at the free agents for next year, go ahead and pay that man because ain't nobody free agent then.
So whatever. What are we talking about here?
Go ahead. Nobody's a free agent. You ain't signing Mike Evans in year 12. You ain't. Debo's already there. Ain't nobody else there paying. Okay.
There's your answer. Next up,
don't say you want
100. The NFL 100 is out. They've been counting down their list of the 100 best players like they do every year, and it's updated lists on a yearly basis. Now, there's a panel of people that does this. I think they poll some players. They look at some media members, and they put this list together. And it's always a controversial thing. A lot of times it's more quarterback heavy towards the top. But it's very interesting to examine it and understand the mindset of some of the why certain people make the list. So let's just take a glance at some of the names that we've seen at number. Let me blow this up so that everyone can. And I know we're off screen for the second, but for the sake of this, you all know we're here. At number, I thought some notables that were interesting that for the 100 list to have a quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa at number 91 on the list, to me, is disrespectful. I think it's kind of pathetic. He's a quarterback of an NFL franchise, and to me,
that can't stay healthy.
You're gonna name 90 players. It's only 32 teams
and probably 10 quarterbacks.
You think it's only 10 quarterbacks going to be on this list?
No. I'm saying 10 quarterbacks ahead of him.
Okay, that's what it should be. But out of 100 players, quarterback heavy has always been the thing with these lists. And he gets at 91? I'm just trying to understand what metrics are you judging.
You can probably name 2 or 3 players
Availability.
per team that should be over Tua.
I mean, again, that's just one thing that stood out to me. We can discuss that at another time. Well, just looking at this list, I thought one issue, and we're gonna talk about that in a second, that hasn't come out yet. But this was the first 20 names. Anything about this list of players? I see you got a Tampa Bay Buccaneer on there. I don't see any Cowboys on the list, no Ravens. But anybody about these names that have jumped out that surprised you, that made the top 100 players in the NFL? I'll start with you, Justin. Anybody jump out to you?
Well, 3 names, 4 actually. I'm happy that Levante's on this list. You know, that's my guy, elder statesman. So just the fact that he got some love, I'm appreciative of that. But James Cook, my God, man, I don't know what he has to do to get like love in this league. Like he might have to leave Josh Allen, because this is terrible.
He was phenomenal last year.
He was phenomenal last year. Takes all his 1 yard quarterback runs. So why should I have him any higher? He doesn't get the ball in the end zone in the red zone when it matters.
Yo, he was killing last year. What do you?
I didn't say he wasn't. I didn't say he wasn't. I'm just saying Josh Allen takes all the
reason why he should be higher, because he was killing.
He would have better stats in the red zone.
Jerry Jeudy, why is he 82? He had a foot. Can you name anything that Cleveland did that was great offensively? No, it was all Jerry Jeudy. He finally hit that corner and was like one of the premier guys. I think he should be higher than 82. And I'm going to end off with maybe Kyler Williams. I think he should be a bit higher. But that's about it, though. Those are my 2. My 2 main ones was James Cook and Jerry Jeudy for me.
Okay. Calvin, what stands out from this first 20?
Initially, the James Cook, I thought he was a little low, but I think that's a product of playing in the same offense as Josh Allen. I thought Laporta was a little low. I think he's probably a top 5 tight end. I think he's one of the main weapons on offense. I think he's a little low as well. Drake London was interesting because I think better quarterback play will have him higher. We'll see what happens this year.
Oh, he's definitely going to be higher next year
with Penix versus Kirk Cousins, but he was a little bit lower than I thought he would be. I think those are the 3 that stood out. Cam Hayward, he slipped during the late part of the season, but I guess he gets respect. And it's kind of a years of service type thing, but he really took a slip late. Now the whole defense did as well, so maybe it's just not on his end. But I'm a little surprised he's still in the top 100.
Yeah, I guess the Cam Hayward one is interesting to me as well. I think a lot of that is reputation. If you Quentin Williams, I thought he would be a little higher. I know that he didn't have the greatest year. Justin, did you think that he had a down year last year?
Nah, but at the same time, the fact that anybody's on a just list defensively is good enough. You know what I'm saying?
He's the
He
first.
got
How
away
many?
with
What,
one, buddy.
two? He's the first of two.
That's pretty much it. Probably him and
Well, actually,
Sauce.
no, three. His brother gonna be on there.
Interesting. Yeah, but I was a little miffed by that they will have some of these players like a James Cook. That's wild to me. Josh Allen won MVP, and a lot of people who were against him winning MVP
He shouldn't have
made
won
that
MVP.
case because James Cook was a big time player for them all year and was very impactful. So this might even try to be done to kind of justify something. I don't know, but Sam Laporta, another very big time player. Um, Interesting, man. Just some interesting stuff. But one name that's not here because
Oh,
they
Lord.
actually listed the next five here. And I don't have it on the slide, but one name that I found interesting was number 6, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens, Patrick Queen, was listed at number
6 in your programs, number 75 in your heart.
75 greatest player in the NFL. So, in what world is I put this list here for a reason? In what world is Patrick Queen better than Sam Laporta,
Anybody on that list?
Lavonte David,
Yeah, I wouldn't gonna say it like that, but
Jerry Jeudy, Cam Hayward on his own team? Like Cam Hayward probably saw this and said, "Shit, y'all know how that guy plays behind me is absolutely trash." And you know how many deficiencies we had to cover up dealing with this guy, and he's ranked higher than me.
You saw it in that playoff game last year.
It's pathetic,
Yeah.
guys. And for once and for all, look, I study football. It's not like I just watch it for fun. Like I actually break down the film, look at the gaps, see where guys' technique is supposed to be. You know, if you know football, you know how formations when you play this, you know how plays are supposed to play out. I coach this stuff, so breaking them down, the formations and where responsibilities of linebacker opposed to who's supposed to cover your back end from a safety position perspective. That is stuff you study. And when you have a freelancer, that's what we call Patrick Queen. He's a freelancer. He has no gap integrity. He does not play within the defense. If there's a zone, he will often go freelance and go do whatever he wants to, and somebody else has to step into that gap. That's what he is. Now, can he blitz and run hard? Yes. Can he cause a ruckus in the backfield from time to time, blowing up a running back? Yes. Don't get me wrong. That is impactful when you have another player playing next to you who know that's happening, and then they can cover your back. But when you just make these decisions at the last second on your own and just go and nobody's there to cover the hole that you just left exposed, you know who gets exposed often? The other players who are now left to try to cover that area. So it looked like they got beat when really you were supposed to be there covering that gap. That happens time and time again. And if I know that, Calvin, you know that, the layman at home knows that. Do you think these offensive coordinators don't watch film? You think they now diagnose that? Hey, we can take advantage of this fool today. I just don't.
I'm gonna cut you off, right? Because you're right. Everything you're saying is spot on. And those that don't know, I know exactly how you feel. I had a guy in which everyone said, "Yo, this dude is legit. This dude is nice." I said, "No, he's only nice because of Lavonte David. That guy's Devin White. That guy's not in the league anymore." You know what I'm saying? Like he was when you have great pieces around him, and when you have pretty much a freelancer or a one-trick pony, then yeah, they look great on tape. They look great for someone that's not really necessarily understanding the flows of the game. But once that person gets by themselves, or once that person gets to a different organization, now he was supposed to be exposed in Pittsburgh. It's just that they're so good overall over there that they're covering for his mistakes, as you just put it out there. So I looked at the comments once the NFL. I mentioned in the group chat, like everybody was saying, these dudes ain't watching football. Like when the average person in the comments is saying that all on one accord, that should tell you something. That's all. That should tell you something.
Calvin, any thoughts before we move on?
You said enough. I've seen tape. I saw this man play live, and when he is not standing next to Roquan Smith, he is a completely different player. When he is not in a defense designed by one Mike McDonald, he is a completely different player. Pittsburgh is now seeing that. They saw that last year. They're going to see it again this year. I really want to know where was he. I need to go back and look and see where he was ranked last year, and the year before. See if we're on the right trajectory. If that's the case, then I may not have as much of a problem as I do by looking at it initially and just seeing 75.
To be fair, last year he was coming off of the year playing with Roquan.
Correct.
Next to him, and he was a Pro Bowl player for the first time in his career.
And the year before, Roquan got there midseason.
Yes,
that's why I said I want to see. I want to see which direction we're going, because last year should have been his peak, in my opinion. In 23, maybe he was around low 90s, maybe because you saw promise, but after Roquan got there, so maybe he got snuck in. And then 24, you had a whole year McDonald, you had a whole year Roquan, so you're probably 50s, 60s, maybe.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not picking on the guy, and that's the thing. I think people get frustrated. It's not picking; it's frustration when people get so bedazzled by look how hard he hit the hole. I'm like, okay, he's a freak athlete. He should play DN then. But then you put him at DN, then he probably wouldn't have. They would probably just run the ball as a direction, like old Dwight Freeney move. Like you get a sack here and there, but you're giving up big gashes and runs all the time. That's like play he is. But anyway, we move. Next up, NBA. Let's talk some NBA basketball. Calvin, I know that you are a resident Summer League enthusiast. Justin, I'm sure you have some thoughts as well. But what's been happening in the Summer League thus far? Have you been able to check out any games? I know in years past you've gone out to Vegas and taken a game or two. What's your
64? Thoughts? He was 64 last year. I want to get that in real quick.
So he's dropped.
Yeah. Dropped 11 spots.
So I guess they figured they couldn't knock him out to 100 from 64.
Yeah. Summer League wise, it's been kind of quiet. They started off with a bang. They had Cooper Flag versus Bronny. I believe that was last Friday. Cooper Flag seemed to struggle. Then he came back a couple days later, had 31 and 5, and they shut him down for the summer. So we've seen problems with Cooper Flag. You saw Ace Bailey struggle a little bit as well, going against VJ from the Philadelphia Sixers rookie as well. What I thought was interesting, the poster last night from that poster, it almost looked like it was photoshopped. The reaction after getting dunked on. You will not live that down. Getting dunked on after your teammate getting crossed up. To have the whole entire Indiana bench, and I didn't even realize he was a rookie. He's a second-year player who was drafted last year. That has to be the best dunk of Summer League history. Top tier. When you have ESPN's anchors couldn't get through it because they were laughing, it was phenomenal. But just in regards to Summer League, look, I'm in regards to the rookie and second-year players, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Minnesota as well. They have a ton of young rookies, and they got a replacement for Nickeil Alexander-Walker that should be on their roster next year. But it's really just a matter of, what can we expect from these young guys from this top tier of the draft. Like I said, Cooper Flag has already been shut down for the summer. We still got a couple games from VJ Edgecombe. Still got a couple games from Ace Bailey. Haven't really had a chance to check out Harper yet for San Antonio. But Summer League is always exciting to me. Just being in Vegas is exciting. So that's all I got for right now.
What's your thoughts, Justin? Have you ever taken anything in?
I just got finished watching SmackDown, Great American Bash, AEW All In, Evolution, and Saturday Night Main Event. I did not have time to watch any Summer League. So whatever Calvin said, I believe 100% everything that he said. I support my brother. What he said, I'm going to double down on that. Yeah.
100%. I agree. Same thing. All right. Another move was made this week. Just a quick NBA note before we move on. Bradley Beal was bought out by the Phoenix Suns. He was waiting for another payday before he did it, and his money kicked in. And now he's going to be signing with the Los Angeles Clippers, which has pretty much they put together one of those old NBA All-Star teams from maybe about 10 years ago at this point, because man, they got some names on that team, dog. When you look at that roster, somebody put it together like, damn, this team would have smacked about 8-9 years ago, boy. But they'll still be competitive. But geez, what are they doing out there in LA? Justin, your thoughts?
The problem I see with this team is you start to run out of athletes. Like, because these guys are past their prime, like they are, they're not athletes anymore. They're skill guys. They're high level skill guys.
A bunch of role players playing on one team.
Right. I don't think that works anymore. That's just the problem with that. You got to go 8 to 10 deep off your bench, and you got to have multiple wing guys that can pretty much do it all. OKC is showing you that. Boston is showing you that. Like, this is a different league now. So these guys that you have here, I mean, James Harden is at least a point guard, so Bradley Beal won't have the same issues that he had in Phoenix when they were just playing point guard by committee, which that's like having two quarterbacks. Like, we're just not going to win today. So with that being said, I mean, hopefully, all three of these guys got injury problems. Like, who knows if they're going to be here towards the end of the season. So it's just it was a move to be done, to say that I did something, to say that I filled the spot, to say that, hey, I provided talent. Let's see what you can do with it, Ty Lue. There you go. As a GM, the GM did his job. I think they need more names.
James Harden, Kawhi Leonard. You got Chris Dunn, who's still fairly young. Bogdanovich, Brook Lopez. Good grief.
Zubac,
Ben Simmons, Nicholas.
Ben Simmons a free agent.
He is a free agent. Okay. All right, Nicholas Batum a free agent too. Okay, Patty Mills. But who's to say they don't? I would bring Patty back. But wow, man, some of these names, man. And then look at the bench: Ty Lue and Jeff Van Gundy. Like, star power, my man. These names are a collection of names. That's what it is. Calvin, your thoughts?
It's interesting because the writing was on the wall when they traded Norman Powell to Miami last week, that they were probably first in line to get Bradley Beal. I think they're the same age too, which I didn't really realize. But this backcourt going to give up 70 points. Who playing defense?
To be fair,
you got John Collins. He playing? Okay. Yeah. Derrick Jones Jr. He gonna play? Okay. They got John Collins.
He the best athlete. He the best athlete.
I don't see this is going to be a turnstile at the guard position. I don't necessarily think this is a better fit than Phoenix. I mean, Harden, you're going to say Harden's a point guard, but Harden looks to get his own shot first, and he likes to kind of pass you the ball late in the shot clock. Kawhi gets his own shot.
I don't think that's fair.
The problem with Bradley Beal in Phoenix was he was the third option, and he couldn't create offense. Why is there any difference than in LA? You're going to say James Harden's a little bit more pass first? Okay, but he's still the third option. Like, I don't see it. And I'm not saying I wanted Bradley Beal in purple and gold either. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a good fit either, because you have run into the same problems. But if it's just a matter you want to live in LA or stay on the West Coast, that's fine. But I think there were better options available for Bradley Beal. I mean, Dallas was a better option until Kyrie comes back, and I think you're the second option with AD.
They good with D'Lo.
Yeah, they did get D'Lo. Yeah.
Dallas was a better option. You're the second option, and you have AD.
Pickup,
yeah. Like, I don't see this fit, and he signed a 2-year deal too, so he got back all the money he gave up in the buyout.
So. He should have went to Golden State, but
and that's another problem. Like, he gonna play in the backcourt with Steph, another turnstile in backcourt. They ain't got nobody.
But he would have been a good rotation player. I think that would have been bad for him. He could have played a role. He could shoot the three. That is good for him. He could shoot the three. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's move on because we got a lot to cover and we ain't got that much time left. The Major League Baseball All-Star game was last night. It's the All-Star break, home run derby, all that's been taking place. So a little break in the action. Time to regroup, time to take a breath. The Orioles had a lot going on in the first half of the season as far as injuries. Coming off of successful seasons, now they've been struggling. Will they be able to turn things around in the second half? We'll see. We'll talk about that in a moment. But they're looking towards the future. They had the MLB draft last week. The Orioles were able to they picked up some, I think 7 picks they had.
Those are the first 2 rounds, I think.
First 2 rounds, yeah. Walk us through
the first 3 rounds.
Let's review some of these picks. Any big time prospects? Anything stand out to you? Did they get any pitching for the future? Talk to us. Let's start with you, Calvin.
So I know they picked up a pitcher with their 3rd pick. I believe that was in the late first or early second round. They did get a first round pick, for lack of a better term, in the Brian Baker trade. So they got that from Miami. So they were able to have another supplemental pick. Their first overall draft pick, I believe, was in the 15 to 16 range. They drafted a catcher, but he also plays outfield because there was a big kind of story that you draft the catcher. Does that mean Adley's gone? What does that mean for Basayo? So on and so forth. But he does play outfield as well. So they picked up a lot of position players. They picked up a couple pitchers. I thought he played outfield better. I could be mistaken, but I thought they said he played outfield better. But you can never have 2 catchers. They've gone through 4 this year, so I'm not even concerned. You pick the best player available. And what they've done is they've gone with a lot of high school players because in MLB draft, you can be drafted straight out of high school, but if you go to college, I believe you have to play 3 years. So they can be drafted out of high school and sent to the minors. But if they don't sign, they can go back. They have the option to go back to school, so you can pay them enough not to go to college, basically. So they're picking a lot of young talent, and they have the money to pay them and get them their farm system, kind of build their farm system. That's what they did with Gunnar, for example. Gunnar was supposed to go to Auburn, I believe. They drafted him in the first pick of the second round, paid him enough so he didn't go to Auburn. He went to Double-A with the Orioles. So they got a lot of picks, but we won't really see, any of the major leagues ideally in 2 to 3 years. And hopefully you just build up your farm system because you re-sign guys and you got Adley here and Gunnar still here and Jackson Holliday still here. So we'll really be able to know about a couple of years. But from what I've read, a lot of people like that draft.
Okay. What's your thoughts, Justin?
What Calvin said, when you have all this talent, let's say they know 30% of these guys, right? Okay, cool. Those are starters in 3 years. What does it have to do with right now? You have a team for right now. You have guys that's probably in their prime of their careers right now. I would like for the first pick to be a pitcher. I don't like the fact that they got I know what's the Ike Irish or something like that. That's good. He can go back to Ireland for all I care. Get pitching in here, and that's all I want. Now they did get like 3 left-handed pitchers. They got like 5 to 7 right-handed pitchers and things like that. But these are all projects, all potential. All like let's hope that they can do it. It's just it's you have a draft. You have to do the draft. I was hoping that they can. The trade deadline ain't happened yet. It's still here. It's still was it Friday or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so maybe they put together some packages, pause to then get in talent or something like that. I don't know. I don't think Elias is that creative, to be honest with you. So it's a prolonged gratification, and
Elias can draft though. If you don't do nothing else, he can draft. So
he can draft regular players, can't draft pitcher.
Yeah, that was my whole question.
I mean, I don't think he's taking the pitcher in the top 2 or 3 rounds during his tenure. I mean, outside of Grayson,
Why?
But I think Grayson. I mean, I'll say this. I think Elias just didn't like any of the pitchers outside of Skeens. Name one pitcher in the top in the last 4 or 5 drafts that's become anything, and he was #1 overall draft pick. So You didn't have an opportunity to draft him.
I don't know.
Even
Put him
like-
in your system. Maybe you develop him differently.
You look at Scooble. I think Scooble was pre-Elias, so I can't say that. So if Elias has not taken you, I'm pretty sure that means he did not think that you would be able to contribute to this team. Because this is
so
the
if you
same
know
guy
that
that
you can draft the infield and potential outfielders, then wear those packages so you can get high level pitching in. If you know you nailing that part.
This team didn't have any talent though. This is a team. Look, they drafted Kjerstad, they drafted Cowser, they drafted Rushman, they drafted Jackson, they drafted Gunnar. I just named 5 position players that are going to be here every day, hopefully for the next 10 years. I'm not really going to knock his drafting because if the pitching wasn't there, he didn't take him.
I mean,
eventually, you run out of excuses.
I mean,
and this example, they draft position players, they sign pitching. They just haven't signed any pitching yet.
Then as you were saying yourself the whole season. Okay, what about these guys? What about this group of guys? Time to let them go. Time to let them go.
I agree. If they're not going to be here, trade them. I agree with that.
So pull the trigger.
But I'm not looking at it a year later. I'm glad that we didn't trade Jackson and Kobe Mayo for Scooble because we would have had a left-handed pitcher no Jackson, no Mayo.
We clearly we understand Jackson. You keep Jackson off.
Yeah,
Kobe
but that's what they wanted.
Now.
That's what they wanted.
You sweeten the deal. You talk to him. You be a GM. You make things happen.
And I agree with you when you're saying Kobe Mayo isn't playing. I think we see more Mayo after some deals are made. I think Mullins is gone. O'Hearn possibly. Mountcastle's still out. So I think I think you'll see Basayo up here late as well, but it won't be right before September. I think next year's the year for him.
The All-Star?
Yeah.
Was that the All-Star?
Yeah.
That didn't play at all?
He played. He started.
Yeah, what did he do? 0 for 2. He ain't play.
He started DH. Man, he ain't do nothing, but he started.
That's what I'm saying. That was
on the Mullins too long.
No, I think I don't want to say they driving the price up. I think he goes to Philly, but maybe they're waiting to see if there's another injury or something like that. But I think he goes to a contender. I think it's Philly, maybe even the Yankees, but I think they're just waiting to the last minute. But I think he's gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. We'll continue to monitor it. Heading into the second half of the season, the Orioles are sitting at the bottom of the American League East with 43 wins on the year. They finished out the first half, the last 10 games, 6-4, while the Boston Red Sox have been climbing, winning 10 in a row. The Blue Jays 7-3. The Yankees kind of took a dip towards the end of the first half. It's very interesting that the little shakeup. The Yankees had a pretty good firm hold. The Blue Jays went on the run. The AFC East looking like it's going to be interesting down the stretch. Justin, your thoughts on the Orioles' outlook? I know we were looking a couple weeks ago. They're 11.5 back of the division leader, but as far as the wild card, I think about 16.
I think it's 6 or 7.
Yeah, so is there a chance? What do they need to do to make up some ground? Talk to us. Yeah, give me a prop.
This is a towel. It's over, guys.
That was funny.
We ain't gonna be no second half team. We ain't gonna have no spark. We might win some games, but man, I'm done, man.
That was funny. What's your thoughts, Calvin?
Let's see these young guys just get prepared for 26. Look, I go out here and throw some money at Adley. See if you can get Adley to sign an extension, even though it's going to be a down year for him again. That's it.
That's it.
But let me ask you a question. This is probably more for Justin than you. Gunnar going to be here in 3 years?
Yes.
Okay.
You sign him. You pay him.
Okay.
Pay him, man. He good.
You giving him $500 million?
I see. Let the agents talk. We see how
Is
much
You
he's
ain't
worth.
is he worthy of being a corner piece of your franchise? That's the question.
you
Yes.
got to pay him. Like I think
Manny
him,
Machado, they didn't want to pay him. So that was the last guy where he was supposed to be a corner piece of your franchise, and you did not pay him. Do you think Gunnar is more valuable to the future of the franchise than a Manny Machado, who is still
Yes.
producing right
Yeah.
now?
Yes, he produced at a younger age.
That's
The only problem I got with
old
Gunnar,
fashioned all-American white boy. They not letting him go.
the only problem I got with Gunnar, I think whoever gets paid, he's gonna get paid around the same time as Dela Cruz, and don't neither one of them want to go first. And I don't see you if you pay Adley, I don't see you paying. If you pay Adley, you pay Cowser. I don't see you paying Gunnar, because Gunnar gonna be the most expensive one. I think Gunnar gonna end up getting like the third most highest contract outside of Shohei, and Mookie Betts. That's what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's gonna be here. But it's 3 years away. It's 3 years away.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Second half starts very soon. Let's move into the world of professional wrestling. A lot to cover in a short period of time. But this past weekend, there's a lot of shows going on, guys. If you're a wrestling fan, you should be full right now.
What you want to start with, man?
You should be full, and clearly right now at 10:37, Dynamite just wrapped up. AEW had one of their biggest shows. We'll talk about that at the end. But a Saturday main event was pretty newsworthy for a few reasons, because it snowballs into a bigger topic. We saw one major, and we could start in a lot of different directions. Where I want to start is the injury to Seth Rollins. If you did not see the show, Seth Rollins was going up against LA Knight. In the match, action was stopped for a moment as Seth appeared to have hurt his leg. And then quickly thereafter, they went to a finish where LA Knight beat Seth Rollins in the middle of the ring. Right after that, the speculation started going on. Okay, Seth is hurt. Last time we saw this, Seth was out for a long time. Is it an ACL? Is it what is it? What is the injury? What's the long-term injury? The thing has got a little interesting. The word we got was inconclusive about what the injury is. To this very moment, WWE has not disclosed exactly what the injury is. So then several reports have been coming out talking about this is a work. Seth isn't hurt. This is all part of the show. This is some type of setup. But then people backstage were vehemently refuting that, saying, no, Seth really is hurt. They had to change the whole rest of the Saturday Night Main Event card. Triple H, the next night after the Evolution pay-per-view, did a press conference. He spoke on it, but he never specifically said what the injury was, how long Seth will be out, which left another cloud in the air. So I'm going to throw it to you, Calvin. When you saw that Seth got hurt, what was your immediate thought?
My immediate thought was that it was serious. Now, since in the last day or so, I've changed my opinion. But my first thought was that it was serious injury, and I wondered if the on-the-fly change was later having Goldberg lose instead of win and have Seth cash in, even though they said, even though they went and said, well, the plan for Gunther was already in place for SummerSlam. So I think what happened is it just delayed Roman's return until Monday. I think Roman was originally going to come back on main event, but they pushed it back because of the Seth injury. I think that was the plan, and not having Seth cash in. I do believe he wasn't going to cash in. I do believe Goldberg wasn't going to win. I fully believe that now. It just delayed Roman's return. I've also heard the speculation that they're going to play this as it's a long-term injury, and then he's going to come back sooner than anticipated. It makes it look like he came back faster, but it really wasn't as serious of an injury. So I do believe that's going to happen as well, with kind of how they've allowed Braun Breaker to kind of be more verbal on the mic as of the last week or so, and kind of trying to make him the main focus. And I think that's kind of going to play into this as well, whether or not it's actually a work or not. But I do think he's actually injured.
Okay.
The severity of the injury may be a disparity.
Justin, what was your thoughts?
I think he's hurt, and for the morality of the company of the business itself,
He better be
I hope
hurt.
it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like I hope it's not a work because like that's you don't play with injuries like that. Not this blatant. So I definitely think he's hurt. But the thing is, I mean, we all watch all kinds of sports. Nick Chubb shattered his whole knee, came back within a year. So that should tell you, like, hey, this contract is for a whole year. So he has until the next Money in the Bank, which is like what, June, July, something like that. So he has quite some time to fully rehab if he does get hurt. So that's one thing I'm willing to believe. Two, if it wasn't, then why not just have your goons come out and beat up LA Knight for a DQ or something like that? If it's work or whatever like that, why do the normal finish of if someone really gets hurt? All right, I'm gonna do a quick move and then you do your move and then boom, it's 1, 2, 3. So that bothers me. So I think it is legitly a injury. The reason why they don't know yet is because he probably got swelling and fluid all around the injury.
I see that.
That has to go down some, and then they get able to do a full scope of his knee. So I don't like the way you're looking right now.
I love pro wrestling, and to me, this is. I like this. This is what wrestling needs. Like there needs to be that little bit of, is it real? Like that when we know everything, I think it creates apathy. But this has been one of the most talked about things. Trust me, I'm as locked in and plugged into wrestling sites and everything. Everybody's like, oh, it's real. No, it's a work. And it's interesting. It makes people talk. It makes people, then people like, oh, it's going to be super sleazy. So at the heart of wrestling is it's supposed to be, your imagination is supposed to be suspended. The only thing it is in this day and age, it's so hard to pull off a surprise because insider information gets leaked. Nothing is kept behind closed doors. All right, so pull the carpet back. Here we go. Last week, apparently, this is the story that's been going around, that Seth was hurt already going into the match. So after that show on Saturday night, there was a radio show. My guy Dave Meltzer was talking. He said, well, everybody's telling me it's a real injury. So that's the official word. But if I'm being honest, a guy I trust told me verbatim, word for word, what the script was, what was going to happen on Thursday, that they planned it out on Thursday. Apparently, Seth was in a match with Penta last Monday and got hurt. And because they knew it was a more serious injury than, he wouldn't be ready for SummerSlam, they said, well, we need to do something. Because Roman, like you said, Calvin, you're right on that. The end of Saturday Night Main Event was supposed to be Seth was supposed to come out, fake a cash, try to get a cash in, and Roman was going to thwart that plan. Goldberg gets a stand, Gunther wins, but at the end, Roman go out there with him, send them off right. Because did you see Goldberg's interview about how it didn't go off, his retirement didn't go off the way it was planned?
Yeah.
Him and Roman was supposed to be like, Roman was supposed to like congratulate him, be in the ring with him, shake his hand off, but Roman never came out. Roman was there and everything. He can't talk about it right now, but that's a whole nother story. Again, I'm hearing this from people I know. And Seth is hurt, but he wasn't hurt on that spot that they said he was hurt on. That's just the bottom line. We can sum it down to that. But he won't be out as long as people think, but he won't be on the SummerSlam card. Now, could he come out at the end of SummerSlam, do something, cash in, take the title from say CM Punk beats Gunther, he cashes in on Punk, wins the title, screws him again, takes the title and run, and then sets up another match with him and Punk for the title later? That could be the story. I'm not confirming or denying.
That's 3 weeks.
Originally, he was supposed to face Roman at SummerSlam. That was the match. That was on the books. You know what I mean? Roman's supposed to return for a match with Seth. They even started building it like last week. And then he got hurt.
with Paul Heyman.
They dropped him.
Yeah.
He got hurt in the match with Pinnacle.
Yeah.
So,
Like I said, he
is hurt. So I don't think the sleazy part will be a problem, because even when he does come back, it'll be enough time where they say, well, I mean, he was hurt. We never told you how long he was going to be out. We never told you how hurt he was. That's why if you listen to the language, when Paul Heyman did his interview, he never said how long Seth was going to be out. When Triple H had his press conference, he never said how hurt he was. Well, we don't know. He has to do more testing. And if you were paying attention, today, Seth hosted the Rich Eisen show, the radio show, and was on there all day. And he never addressed it. He never said a word. If he was out for a year, let's say he was just out for 6 months to a year, will he go on Rich Eisen and be the host of the show? I don't know, man. Maybe. But also, tonight on Netflix premieres what? The WWE new reality show where they go behind the scenes and show you how everything is made. That's a new show that just started today. What if they filmed all of this that's happening? Like, okay, we building out this storyline, and they're gonna show it on the Netflix show, not this week, but in the future for the next season. That's a hook. Oh, remember what happened at SummerSlam? See what happened behind the scenes. See what built to it. There's so many ways this can be explained away. And again, it's WWE, man. You can't just act like this ain't the NFL. This ain't Adam Schefter reporting injuries because of Impact and betting. They can do whatever they want. And because you got that Money in the Bank briefcase, you want to create some type of suspense on when he's actually going to show up and cash it in. So that's my spiel on it. And I think, yes, he is hurt, but I don't think he's going to be out that long. Any other thoughts?
I say past SummerSlam.
You hold him out a little longer?
But nothing crazy though. So I agree. I mean, if he's hurt, then he's hurt, like I said. But 3 weeks, I think that's pushing it.
Yeah,
even if, like you say, everything goes to plan, like he comes out and he's still like a little bit injured, you don't want a chance to what if something happens either. So I'll just wait till he's 100% or at least 90 to 100%, and whatever the next thing is after SummerSlam. Was it Clash?
Yeah,
in Paris?
2 weeks later, like 2-3 weeks later.
Maybe
that.
Mm-hmm. I would have CM Punk defeat Gunther, celebrate, thinking, yes, I made it. Seth underneath the ring, so he ain't got to run down the ramp. He ain't got to come out, hit him with something, lay his ass out, pin him 1, 2, 3. You get out of there. You don't risk him being any more hurt. But he run with that, he get that belt, and then he just don't defend it for a little while. I mean, they do that all the time.
But you won't see him on TV for a while.
You can do promos. I mean, it's a leg injury.
So, do you think this delays, because he's not going to be at SummerSlam, this delays the Cody heel turn at SummerSlam?
I don't think Cody was turning heel. I think Cena's turning babyface.
You don't think they both want him at the same time?
I don't think it's a double turn.
Okay.
I don't think so, because then Cena would need revenge. And I don't think they're going to do another match between Cody and Cena. But we'll get into that a little later. Also, in that main event, Gunther choked out Goldberg in his final match. Overall, what did you all think of the actual match itself? Justin, what was your thoughts?
5 minutes too long.
It was definitely longer than I anticipated.
I didn't need it. Did not.
I think Goldberg wanted to prove that he can go a little longer than people thought. But
no one cares.
I think this was a hey, we gotta think of something on the fly because we can't go with the original angle. You gotta stay out there.
If you would have cut it off 5 minutes ahead of time, he would have had 5 more minutes of his speech.
For that speech, yeah, that was sad.
That's a good point.
They had to rush off the air, even though if you watch it on Peacock, you did get to see it its entirety. I saw it on Peacock, so
I didn't see it. I watched it.
Yeah.
I was watching on Peacock. It cut off.
Charlotte Flair came on. See, I didn't watch it live. I didn't watch it live on Peacock.
Okay. I was watching NBC.
Yeah, Charlotte Flair documentary come out of nowhere. I said, "What the hell is this?"
See, I didn't get to it till Sunday, and it was there. Okay, wow, that's great. That's crazy. I know he was hot, man.
Yeah,
He was
I
pissed
saw that.
because he gave an emotional speech. You had different wrestlers out there with him, his family.
Ernest,
But,
Ernest the Cat.
yeah, Ernest the Cat Miller was out there. Yeah. And I think, like, look. And I read that interview where he's pissed off about he didn't get the attention that he felt his retirement deserved. But guys, come on. They already doing a Cena retirement tour. Who you?
It was
It's
one
like
night
Paul Pierce. You know what I mean?
They don't love you like Kobe.
They don't, man. Like, come on, dog. You're not Sting. You're not, you know what I mean? Like, you're not like, you're Goldberg. Like,
I know Bret Hart was happy.
you know that. Bro, I'll probably refuse to watch
Yo,
it.
Goldberg.
But yeah, I thought overall, for what it was, even though I didn't like, them trying to go head to head with AEW's pay-per-view, try to undercut them, it was fine for what it was. And I love Gunther, so I'm glad he choked his ass out. I thought that was a good way to end it. And he took the chops. He got the jackhammer on Gunther. He didn't hold him up there as long as he used to, but he got him up.
That knee was going to give out.
Yeah.
That was a damn suplex.
But hey, he got him over though. He got him over. So shout out to him. But the next night on Raw, 2 nights later on Raw, they set up a No One Contenders gauntlet match. I thought this match was pretty damn good. What did y'all think of this gauntlet match?
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't a gauntlet match from AEW.
What you say?
All the times that they do a gauntlet match, AEW did their little casino joint, and then now here goes WWE. Hey, here's our gauntlet match.
It couldn't touch this.
Okay, so look, let me get right to it because that's what everybody's talking about. No one cares about the Penta part. One, they need to stop doing that finishing spot. Stop it.
He did it twice.
They did it twice. You don't want to oversaturate. You already doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, he signed?
LA Knight. Where the hell is LA Knight character going? Who knows? How do y'all feel about the mid-match yeet?
Yo, I like
it. That was disrespectful, but I like it.
Because they cut it off quick. He's like, nah, you're going to let me finish doing my thing.
Jay's injured, isn't he?
No, he's not injured. He got a big SummerSlam match coming up.
No, they keep focusing like
on his lower, his ribs or whatever like that. I think they said he got, how Kofi Kingston got like a collapsed chest or something like that. I think it's something that's existing, but it's not nothing that they can't pop back in. I've seen it. But yeah, go ahead and finish your thought, Justin.
But no, that was the producer, they didn't catch on. He had to do the thing like 3 times, and then he
I liked it.
But I'm okay with it. It just shows how over he is. So I was looking at the IWC internet wrestling community, and it was just like, just that, he's that over. Like it wasn't even like the negativity that I thought it could possibly come. So shout out to Jay for doing that. That's wild. You don't see that too much, but him losing the way he lost, I was okay with that. But when the hell did gauntlet matches turn into no DQ? When did that happen?
That's what everybody said. I've been watching wrestling my whole life. I ain't never seen no. We've seen gauntlet matches where people get eliminated because they got DQ, and that's how they get out of it without being hurt. Oh, he got disqualified. Get him out of here, and it's a cheap way. But when they start doing it the opposite way, no DQ, so you can just attack a neck. So you can have your goons out there attacking somebody, and that's the way to get rid of them out of the match. Yeah, that was crazy. You might as well just bring the whole squad with you.
It lost me on that.
That did throw things off because it was a good match, and Braun Breaker was winded. Man, they went 40 minutes, but you saw when they told him gave him a bottle of water. I've never seen that before. Like he's like, come on, dog.
We got a free agent.
Because you're supposed to do it like discreetly. Like he was just in the corner, like it's a regular match, like it's a boxing match or something. Let me take my corner sip. What we doing?
He was blown up, man. He was working hard.
We got a free agent signing.
Who's that?
Von Miller.
Von Miller signed with the Commanders.
Okay, next.
Yeah, moving on.
I thought we talked about the Commanders. We talked about Terry McLaurin. Oh,
all right.
never mind.
But yeah, so the winner of this match is going to face Gunther at SummerSlam. CM Punk pulled it off. I like that whole
With some help
match. I liked it. It was all cool. Jay came out, got even the score because the Goons got involved. And so I love the whole face down with Gunther up in the press box and Punk pointing up at him. And then you got Bronson Reed, and they jumped him again, and they about to do the tsunami. And then all of a sudden, the OTC returned, and the place came unglued. Yo, Roman, I've been saying this, man. Like, they did such a great job with building this guy. Because if y'all remember, if you were watching wrestling, because I know a lot of people weren't, prior to the pandemic, he got so stale. And then he went away. If you remember, during the pandemic, Roman Reigns has leukemia. So he couldn't really be there because of everything with COVID-19 and people being exposed to the virus. So he was gone for a while. And when he came back at SummerSlam and he turned heel, it was the best thing that ever happened to his career. Because like I said, if you turn him heel, the people will start to like him because he'll become a cool heel. And he's never looked back. The tribal chief gimmick was great for him. But this OTC thing here, and even the change in his music, everything, like the whole presentation, the guy's over, man. What a return. What did you think of them bringing him back the way they did? And it looks like they're setting up a tag team match for SummerSlam. Roman and Jay versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Calvin, your thoughts?
Well, I love the return. You knew it was coming. Like I said, I thought it was going to happen originally on Saturday, and then the Seth injury happened. But just having him back in Raw on Monday in time for SummerSlam, I don't know if I understand the purpose of him coming back just for SummerSlam, and then he starts filming that movie that's towards the end of the month, and it's Australia or something.
I mean, it's SummerSlam 2 nights.
I mean,
I understand it. You gotta put all the star power you got.
But why? I agree. I understand that you made it 2 nights, so you need all hands on deck, basically. But when's the next time we're gonna see him at SummerSlam? In time for Survivor Series, in time for War Games. But look, I'm happy he's back. He's going to make a mini return. I'm assuming you'll see him on Raw again.
He booked for the next 2 Raws.
Okay. I'm happy he's back.
Yeah, Justin.
Roman Reigns is now in the same category as Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and a Tooth Fairy. He is a mythical creature that when he shows up, everybody goes wild, and then he disappears, and you don't see him for an extended period of time. That's Roman Reigns, but it works for him. It works. And WWE is about attractions, right? You gotta have attraction. So I'm not mad. My partner over at We Talk Calm Best King, he says that he should definitely get the belt, and that's the thing, and that's my issue here is that I'm not going to say when, but the thing is for me is that if he stays around, then go ahead on. Let's build this up. Let's build him up. But if he's going to do his guest appearance and then dip off, I don't. Cena to me, Cena's the bar. Either you wrestle more than Cena, or you wrestle less than Cena. If you wrestle less than Cena, there's no championship for you. You don't need it at that point. If you're still getting huge pops when you come on and stuff like that, you don't necessarily need that distinguished part of it. So I hope that he stays a little bit longer. And the way you just said 2 Raws, they didn't necessarily, that's not how they sold that. They said Roman Reigns is going to be on Raw until SummerSlam. It makes it seem like it's a lot.
It makes it seem like it's a month or
only
6 weeks.
Only 2 of them, right? So it's great marketing and all these things. It's just it's just I became a fan of wrestling again through COVID, through the pandemic. I became a fan of Tribal Chief head of the table. I became a fan of Joe Anoa'i. That's who I became a fan of. So his this is my TV. This is these people. They work for me. Like that Roman. That's my guy. I don't know who this guy is right now. He's a myth of what the other guy used to be. So, it's cool. He's gonna do his thing. He's gonna sell like crazy, and then it's gonna be like when the next time we see him, till we forget about him again.
Yeah. All right. So again, I know I got a message. People say, look, guys, I'm not going to come on here. If you know anything about me, wrestling is number one in my life, in my book, football and wrestling. If there's nothing I know about, I know football and I know wrestling. I'm not going to come on here and tell you something that's not true. Okay, it's a work. All right, the guy was not hurt in that match. I know I'm getting messages. I know it's a fairy tale to some of you. You have to buy like certain things. Yeah, you can just accept it. It's fine. I'm not trying to bust your bubble. I'm just telling you the truth. It was a work. They've admitted it. People even backstage are corroborating it now. The news also lines up. Alvarez noticed, according to one source, Rollins did have a very minor knee injury going into Saturday. So the claim was he was hurt. Some true, but nothing will keep him out of action much time at all. Rollins appears to have tweaked his knee during the match. That was all planned. This was all laid out on the Thursday before. The idea is to convince fans Rollins is out for a long period of time, and he'll come back for a cash in when you least expect it. Yeah, it was obvious. I mean, I'm not telling you this to make it not fun for you. I'm just telling you that's what it is. So you're not worried that the man gonna be gone until WrestleMania next year. He'll be back, and when he comes out, it'll be great. Like, enjoy the show. It's wrestling, all right? Suspend your belief for a minute and enjoy it. That's my rant. Also over the weekend, WWE had that Evolution pay-per-view, that all-women's show, which was main evented by a very good match between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. I thought these two did an excellent job. Before the ending even happened, I thought they were having a hell of a match. Io is, quite frankly, one of the best workers in the business, period. And Rhea is a superstar. The crowd was like on fire for this, the whole show. A lot of women in the crowd. It's an all women's pay-per-view. I thought it was great energy, a great look for the company. The ticket sales started out slow, but they were able to get about 8,000 in the building in Atlanta. The Beyonce concert was right across the street, but they still were able to do what they did. And I thought the ending with Naomi coming out and cashing in her Money in the Bank contract and becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion was both a surprise, but also a welcome surprise. Many people suspected it, but I thought it got over great. And her performance on Raw the next night, coming out with her interview, cherry on top, just perfecto. She's been excellent in her role. I think the whole presentation, both nights of the main event angle, was sensational. Justin, what was your thoughts on how all of this played out?
First and foremost, the women kind of saved this whole weekend for WWE. It was a phenomenal card from start to finish. Like every match, the Becky match, Becky, Lara, and Bayley has been performing at a high level, level. And Lara is starting to get her chops wet enough, so as though, once she beats Becky at SummerSlam, it's going to be legit. Becky brought prestige to that title because no one was caring about the Intercontinental title.
Yeah,
so shout out to Becky for that. Shout out to Becky also rocking the red and yellow the next night because everyone said that she's Becky Hogan. The 4-way tag, that was tremendous. I like seeing a smile, like a legit smile on Charlotte Flair's face. Like she's legitly happy that the crowd loves her. Like she's on cloud nine. And sometimes you gotta take some of your veterans, and that's why I just mentioned Becky, bring them down to other stuff to make the lower stuff relevant again. And that's what's happening. Now the tag titles, Raquel is performing well, Roxanne is performing well. It's entertaining now. Roxanne is great. She can sell a match. She's a storyteller within the ring, and I love every second of it. I ain't really Tiffin's Trish was cool.
I thought Trish looked better than Tiffany.
Tiff performed very well. We're not going to take that away from Tiff.
I thought
performed very well. And Trish did great as well, especially for her age. But yeah, we knew what was going down with that one. So that was just an entertaining match. I'm glad they kept my interest in that. That battle royal. Everyone keeps sleeping on the battle royal. I said no. The spots in that battle royal, from Kalani Jordan doing the Kofi Kingston to Jada Parker having her moment inside the ring, to the secret Hervis when Shorty jumped out the ring to save Chelsea Green being eliminated. I'm like, yo, and then shout out to Lash Legend. I was saying this, like, as long as Lash Legend is in the Final Four, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I knew Stephanie was going to win, especially once Bianca wasn't in it. Stephanie's going to win, but if Lash shows, I'm cool, because then I know that she's about to get brought up eventually. Like, it's going to happen within probably the next few months, hopefully.
They wouldn't have broke that team up if they wasn't going to have plans.
Would have brought it up, right? So she showed her, she showed her ass, lifting up Nia Jax like it was no problem. She's very strong. So everything about that I was proponent for. And the final match. Yo, these two ladies, man. Yo, when EO jumped off that speaker box system thing in the crowd, oh man, she's on point. I don't think EO has a bad match, man. She hits it on all cylinders. She's a natural, like you said. Rhea did just enough to keep up with EO. And I wish I called it, but I did not. My partner called it. That Naomi cash in. That's a great to put her on Raw, and she's better on Raw than in this SmackDown. In my opinion, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Jimmy comes with him. Because if Jimmy comes over there and leaves that SmackDown bloodline stuff, leave it alone. You don't need it no more. Team up with Jay again. You guys are phenomenal together. You can still do if he can go for the world title, you can try to go for the Dom belt. You can get the IC belt. Jimmy's a great worker. Please go that.
Against Solo.
He did great against Solo. So that's all. Leave that bloodline stuff alone. Come on over to Raw and get yourself a real title.
So let me ask you this question. I did not see all of Evolution. Who did she pin?
You pin EO.
EO.
Okay.
Pin the champ.
So it turns into a triple threat.
She smacked her with the belt, and then she threw.
It was triple threat.
Okay.
She threw Rhea out the ring to go back and do her move on EO to win.
Yeah. So Rhea didn't take the pin.
I mean, she shouldn't have. You want to pin the champion. You don't want her to get the cheap way and get the win over the other person, even though Rhea is the biggest star. So, but either way, I think they've done a great job elevating EO to build the WrestleMania when she won the title. Because initially, when she won that title, everybody like, why would they do that? It was supposed to be Bianca and Rhea. That was the match everybody, really wanted to see. But they threw EO in there. But EO actually elevated herself to that level, and I think she's done a great job. And now they're setting up another three-way. This time for SummerSlam, and I know that's a little party booking because we just had a three-way. Huh?
I don't understand a word you just said. Shout out to Naomi when she said it to EO.
That was disrespectful.
It was mad disrespectful.
I know she did do that.
It was mad disrespectful. It was people call it borderline racist. Like, oh man, why they had to do that to the Japanese?
People definitely thinking about that. Every time she cut a promo, you sit there and think about it for a minute. Like, yeah.
Some people don't need to talk, but but she's done a good job. She's done a good job carrying herself. But we'll see. They set the match, SummerSlam. I thought they could have been a little bit more creative. Since you got two nights, I would have liked to see a rematch of EO and Rhea on night one,
and then the winner face Naomi.
And then the winner go face Naomi the next night. Like, come on, man.
And the crowd's already stacked.
You say that, and I what I've been hearing, and I agree with it. isn't it just like the triple threat with with
I just said
Bianca?
that with
But you
Bianca.
Bianca.
you just
All you
subbed
did
out
was sub out
somebody.
Naomi for Bianca. Like no creativity.
Who put this together? Like it's three of them. You could mix and match and intertwine so many different ways. Just well,
I
let
literally
me ask you.
just said,
Let me throw this at you. Do you think that Naomi gets her premier victory at SummerSlam against these two? That's her premier spot.
No.
She then goes because word is that she wants to have a baby. So then she goes and does it. Hell, she might even be pregnant now. And Stephanie beats her at Clash. Stephanie's going to get a title sooner or later. It's definitely sooner than later.
Get the title match. So I don't think that. I think Naomi
And she's going Raw. If I'm not mistaken.
lose. It's for the winner of this match. I think Naomi's winning this match at SummerSlam. That's what I'm saying. Because I don't see Rhea winning this title and then facing Stephanie and beating Stephanie in her first. You know what I mean? I mean, you could. It's SummerSlam too, though. Rhea gotta win this title at some point. You know what I mean? Like they put it off. She didn't get it at Mania. She hasn't been the champion in a very long time at this point. So, oh no, didn't Io beat her?
She beat it before WrestleMania, like the week before.
Yeah. So you don't want Naomi to only hold the title for 2 weeks, right? Yeah, that's not a good look.
Right? Yeah, but it's we talking about Paul now.
They've done it. The jury's out. We'll see how the build is. Because Naomi's doing a great job and she's over. The crowd cheering her like she a babyface. You know what I mean? It's not like she getting crazy like, oh, we don't like her. No, you deserve it, chance, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll continue to monitor that. SummerSlam's already got a card. I mean, if there only was one night, they probably could wrap it up now, but they got to fill 2 nights. Cody and John Cena in the main event for the WWE title. You got Gunther and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know who drew those pictures. You got a triple threat, Bianca, Io, and they look like for the Women's World title. You got a tag team match between Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. Now, tell me you just needed something to do for people, because what did this have to do with anything? I saw the match.
I say this and I keep saying it. WWE, just like you just said about Roman, it is a celebrity-based attraction show. So they're always going to, every 4 to 5 months is going to be another celebrity. Travis Scott didn't pan out.
Cardi B is hosting this show. Yeah.
So
Jelly Roll is SummerSlam, so she'll be on the show as well.
There you go. There's always going to be some type of celebrity.
But Jelly Roll said he's been training at the PC every day. He's ready. He's a big time wrestling fan. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's title.
Next, by the way.
Yeah, Kittle kicked the hell out of Miz on the golf course.
At a golfing joint. So
Kittle's been a wrestling fan. He's been at Mania. He's actually gotten physical, and I think it was in San Francisco a couple years ago. So yeah, he wants to be a full-time wrestler when he retired. And then like you said, Lara got that big win. That was a good match. 2 out of 3 falls versus Bayley on Raw. That was a very good match, and the winner of that going on against Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental title, and that's going to be a good match because these two, again, they from the same place in Ireland. They know each other. They kind of map out. Their first match was very good. The second one wasn't as great, but I think they're going to really put on a show at SummerSlam, and that's what we got coming. But before we get out of here, I know we running late on time because Justin was 15 minutes late. But I did want to quickly look at AEW All In. Just if you didn't see it, guys, one of the greatest pay-per-views in wrestling history. I mean, look, I've been watching wrestling a long time. Some of these matches, if you put, I can't name all this we just talked about for WWE. I can't name one match that was better than maybe the top 5 matches on this show. Justin, you watch it. What you think?
Your love affair needs to slow down, so that's what you need to do.
Name one match that was better than the top 5 on this show.
The women's match was better than their women's match. Shout out to Toni Storm. Shout out to Mercedes Moné. It was a great match. It wasn't better than Rhea and Io. They outperformed them.
No, they did not. But hey, I'm a Mercedes guy. That's my girl. I know in real life. But no way in hell.
Okay,
that
so
top rope pile driver.
Was it was legit. Yeah, I'm not knocking it, but overall,
some of the counters. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. What about the tag team match between the Young Bucks and Swerve and Will Ospreay?
Okay, before that, I need to check Will Ospreay's heritage. I don't think he Asian at all. Why he got them Asians walking them down doing the ninja stuff as his entrance? I have issues with that. Shout out to JoJo. Shout out to Bray Wyatt. They did the Fireflies behind her. So shout out to JoJo.
Yeah.
But that was a great tag until Swerve went like total Hulk Hogan and then like was taking kicks and grabbing knees and all that. I'm like, hold on, Swerve, you're doing too much. But it was still overall good. I would say that the final match was spectacular.
One of the most gruesome matches you'll ever see in your life.
And Hangman. When they did the DDT on the nail bed and all, I said, "Yo, this is crazy." So they got that. I ain't knocking that. Now that top match, the Omega and the other guy, that
you
was
like it.
I ain't like that.
It was a little slower paced, but
it was a bad spot in between the other two. They should have put spot a little bit earlier. It was a bad spot.
I love the Rumble, the Gauntlet match. With MJF won.
You knew MJF was going to win, though.
Yeah, but still, it was entertaining. It was entertaining. The women's one wasn't bad either. I mean, it was just a good show. I thought they spaced out certain things. And it was sad about Adam Cole, and I didn't particularly care for the Dustin Rhodes win. I didn't see the point of that. But the Hurt Business, Hurt Syndicate, or whatever, that was solid, but unnecessary. I think they could. The show was too damn long. Let's call it what it is.
Well, you know they did that purposely. You know that
they wanted to run into Saturday Night Main Event. Yeah,
they wanted to do both. They wanted to take the NXT joint. Let's talk about it, and then they wanted to get into Saturday Night Main Event.
Well, let's call it what it is. Their date was set. WWE put Saturday Night Main Event and the NXT show on this same day to try to
had to counter it. They countered it. I'm not mad at it. They say, "Yo, we got talent." There's one thing we got talent. We got people that showing up in Darby Allin and stuff like that, just to make it Daniel
Bryan Danielson. Yeah.
Like, we got players. There ain't no problem. So
they got hella talent. And again, NXT it's not even worth talking about. They can't touch what AEW do, but that's what the strategy is to try to distract, but AEW provides. They have a edge. Athena! Shout out to Athena winning that women's gauntlet as well. Hopefully, she has a great match with Toni Storm coming up. But they have an edge because their entire roster is available for every show. WWE decides to take their roster and split it up. Some people on Raw, some people on NXT, some people on SmackDown. So you don't get a full. Everybody's going to be on every show. It's like you get sprinkled in here and there.
And when every show is at their best, when WWE is at their best is when they have a PLE coming up because everybody's not focused. Everyone's at the place. So you might have SmackDown guys show up on Raw and Raw guys show up on SmackDown. So then now that boosts that up for the same reason you just said.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the benefit AEW has because every guy's there. Yeah, it's loaded. Look, they can put on a pay-per-view like that where you don't have to worry about no filler. Where you don't have to worry about, and it's difficult because if you have a great match like that, how can you follow it? You know what I mean? The crowd be amped up, and you be tired, and then you get a little quiet. Like that tag team match, it was great at the beginning, but the crowd was quiet because they were so wore out from the match that just happened a moment ago where they were so emotionally invested. So again, a little bit, sometimes less is more. I always say that. but I don't give a damn. I'm a wrestling fan. I'll push pause and come back later. Them matches were phenomenal. I thought that whole weekend was great, and Raw was great. So, as a wrestling fan, good weekend for wrestling. Good weekend for wrestling. Calvin, I know you didn't watch everything, but hopefully things slow down a little bit. I'm gonna start sending you files so you can watch these clips.
You ain't gotta send me AEW files.
Come on, man.
30-second clips.
Oh my gosh, man.
Calvin, I was in your boat until this fool said that we gonna talk about it, and then my other joint said that we gonna talk about it eventually. So I was like, okay, let me see what it's all about. I was in it. If it was one to watch, I'm glad I watched this one.
And it made you be like, okay, this ain't bad. Again, the best part about them is when they put on a show, a big show, they ain't holding nothing back, and there is no boundaries. Like they don't put limits on what the performers are able to do. That's the
man got choked out by a chain.
Yo,
I was not expecting that. That's one thing I was not expecting.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this thing up. It's been a hell of a show. We appreciate you all sticking in with us for the extra 20 minutes. We just had to cover that. It was a big week, man. A lot going on. I know Justin's frozen right now, but hey, he's still here. You know, he's on the screen at least. But we appreciate you all.
Good profile picture.
Yeah, we're gonna make a screenshot of that.
I'm moving on mine. I'm moving on.
You're not moving. Calvin, you see him moving at all?
No, he got a profile picture up.
All right. But it's been like that for like 10 minutes.
He hadn't blinked in like 2 minutes.
It's been a while.
Starting to get worried.
But we appreciate you all tuning in tonight. It was a hell of a week in wrestling, football, a lot of news. But again, while basketball is a little slow, baseball is going to pick up, and we're getting into the NFL, getting some topics and we're going to continue to keep an eye on this NFL 100, looking at this list and who deserves to be there. And we want to talk about, because I know a lot of people have been talking about NBA top 10 lists. A lot of people have been talking about NFL top 10 quarterbacks. That's been some heated discussions I've seen online about that over the last week. We're going to put that on the rundown for next week. Calvin, just preview it real quick. What's your thoughts on people saying Kobe don't belong in the top 10? I know Bleacher Report put out that list. What's your thoughts?
Look, it's a lot. I don't agree with a lot of the list, but disrespecting Kobe, in my opinion, I've always said he's between 5 and 10, but not to have him in the top 10 at all, that's hard to do. And to have Steph ahead of him in the top 10, that's the thing that bothers me. I mean, you've had discussions about Magic versus Steph. Now we got Steph versus Kobe.
Well, save something for next week. We'll talk about it next week.
I'll also tell you once again about how weak the 90s was. But we'll have that conversation next week.
Justin, are you still there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
profile pic.
Oh, all right.
He's not on the screen.
So small now. Profile pic like
you back in Morgan or something. But anyway, folks, we appreciate you, and we'll see you. We'll be back next week. Mind you, there he is. His profile. Oh, he's frozen still. But we'll be back next week.
Thought he came back in the same pose.
With Calvin, Justin, I'm Larry.
The picture that is Justin.
Next week for another edition.
The screenshot.
Y'all have a good night.
Terrible.